Most players who lose to Hiruko are all making the same mistakes, but they don't even realize it while they're doing them. So if you feel like you're stuck or getting overwhelmed every time, this is probably why. I'm Christian, stay with me, this will help. First mistake is not managing your ki. If this is not addressed, you're going to make it harder on yourself in the process of defeating this boss. To overcome this mistake, be attentive to your ki bar when landing attacks and moving around in this stage. Also, distance yourself from the enemy to regain your ki. Dodging briefly before Hiruko swings his weapon will not consume much ki if it is not done consecutively. Second mistake is ignoring spacing. This is important since you need to ensure that you can gauge the attack range from Hiruko while managing your health, ki, as well as other techniques at your disposal. There are going to be times when you will see openings after he executes his attacks. When you see those openings, don't hesitate to get into close range combat and perform your attack combos. Also, if you are further away from Hiruko, you can launch long-range projectiles from a safe distance while trying to recover your health and ki. This same principle applies especially when he transforms into a yokai, in which he will have new movesets for you to learn. In his yokai form, avoid as many fire attacks as possible. The last thing you need to worry about is a rapid decline in your health due to fire damage. Staying away from his laser sun blast is a must. When he starts using ice attacks, same rule applies in terms of keeping your distance and waiting for openings to execute attack combos. This is an example of an opening to expose. Third mistake is misreading the burst attack. This one is tricky since the red aura color, which indicates an incoming burst attack, blends in with his yokai form. Also, this makes it hard to tell if a burst attack will be executed or if the red color is just part of the yokai form cosmetic. Nonetheless, knowing when a burst attack will be performed will aid you in the pursuit of victory over Hiruko. When you see him approaching you and the red aura color is shining from him, his burst attack will be activated. This will be the right time to trigger your burst break and land additional hits before he performs his next attacks. Timing the burst breaks as you see him activate his burst attack are tough but can be achieved multiple times. Another indicator of him attempting to perform a burst attack is when he starts executing a stream of multiple close range and long range attacks from his arms and sword. Then, after he performs his charge attacks from the sword, he will jump into the air and surprise you with a burst attack. Fourth mistake is attempting to block every attack. When combating this boss, you must understand that there are some hits you can block and others when you should dodge and attack from afar. If you play as a ninja, your biggest advantages are agility and versatility. In addition, if you play as a samurai, one of your biggest strengths is guarding against tough hits from enemies. Blocking every attack can be exhausting and can drain your ki at moments when you need to dodge incoming attacks. By picking your moments when to block, it will help you survive the rest of the battle. Fifth mistake is overcommitting attacks. By making this mistake, you leave yourself open to Hiruko's attacks. In addition, you'll be taking on unnecessary damage from the enemy. To fix this mistake, first create space between you and Hiruko. Remember that you can use your long-range projectiles to apply more damage to his health. Then, dodge his long-range attacks and wait patiently to strike him from behind. Once you have done this, evade immediately before he attacks you in close range. By executing this strategy, you don't waste ki, and you will be more alert in avoiding danger from Hiruko. If you feel that you have the urge to continue your attack combos even though your punish window is closing, remember that you are increasing your odds of losing the fight. Ensure that when you're performing your attack combos, to pay attention to your ki consumption. If you fill up your emerald gauge and activate your living artifact even when Hiruko enters the yokai realm, the living artifact will provide protection for your health and ki. If you recall, while you are in the living artifact state, your health bar will be switched with your emerald gauge instead. Furthermore, in this state, your actions like triggering attacks and dodging will not consume your ki. With this logic in mind, you have no limits when you are in the living artifact state. Sixth mistake is not dodging the grab attack. If Hiruko grabs you, your health will drop drastically. This will be bad news, especially if you're on the verge of beating Hiruko. You will know if he performs another grab attack when his hand is covered in black smoke and is trying to reach you from short range. His grab attack can catch you off guard if you are not focused on the fight at hand. For the grab attack, attempt to become beyond his reach and attack him when he least expects it. If you can distance yourself properly, dodging his grab attack will be the least of your concerns. Seventh mistake is not dodging his long-range icicle spike attacks. Underestimating his long-range icicle spike attacks will spell disaster towards the end of the fight, especially when Hiruko's health is very low. Pay close attention to how Hiruko rotates his body. This will tell you the direction in which he launches his long-range icicle attacks. Once you dodge these ice attacks, attack him from behind for additional damage and evade immediately from his ice sword attack. If this helped you beat the toughest boss in the game, hit the like, subscribe button, and drop a comment. Want a guide for the next boss? Let me know which one gave you trouble.